Good evening, Wizards Nation. I hope everyone's with their family and friends on this Christmas Eve. But I figured I should get on live to talk about this unfortunate Cam Whitmore situation. This is actually serious, and we wish him all, a very speedy recovery. So let's just get straight to it, dude. Cam Whitmore. This was announced yesterday. I should have got on earlier, but I was at a work holiday party getting lit. I wasn't late, actually. But Cam Whitmore was diagnosed with an upper extremity deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder, according to Shams. Now, the past two games, Cam Whitmore has been out with a shoulder injury, so this kind of explains a little bit of what's been going on. I just these type of injuries are ones you just don't want to mess with. Unfortunately now it's like a common recurring theme now in the NBA. Victor Wembanyama had this, Lillard, Asar Thompson, and now Cam Whitmore amongst others. So we're gonna get to that in a bit, but wishing Cam Whitmore nothing but the not even the speedy recovery, man. You hate to see this on any player. Extremely unfortunate. It just came out of the blue, honestly. Came out of the I don't know. But anyways, the key word is out indefinitely. I hate that word indefinitely. It's and like all of sports, that word right there gets to me the most because it leaves speculation out there in the open. Nobody knows how long indefinitely truly means. So it all depends, obviously, on I don't even know if it's an injury. I think it's more of a diagnosis. My dumbass put injury in the thumbnail. But anyways, out indefinitely. We don't know how long that's going to take. Granted, Greg Fenberg stated this. Injury update on Cam Whitmore, who had missed the previous two games with the shoulder soreness. Yep, we talked about that. Sham says further testing revealed a blood clot. Wemby had the same injury last season, which caused him to miss the final 2 months of the season. Whitmore will miss extended time. So if we use Wemby as an example, or like a template of this, we would not expect Cam Whitmore to be back until mid-February. Around that time, like the trade deadline. It sucks. It really sucks. Not just for him, the player, most importantly, him, the person. You want to see this kid get a chance to shine and, continue to progress in his NBA career, especially here at home in the DMV. This is going to prevent him from doing that. Anyways, WizPR says, Cam Whitmore has been diagnosed, I already know this, with upper extremity deep vein thrombosis, aka, I guess, blood clot. Whitmore was evaluated after missing the previous two games with a right shoulder soreness. Whitmore is expected to be sidelined indefinitely. His progress and recovery will be monitored, and his status will be updated as appropriate. So, like Fenberg said with the Wembanyama injury, he was out for 2 months. Obviously, this is something that you do not want to rush him with. Let him take his time. Like, this is like a serious injury. You do not want to rush this at all. Obviously, put the person above the player. So, I did some research, and this article came out from CBS Sports regarding the whole new deep vein thrombosis. I feel like I'm saying that word wrong. Thrombosis, whatever the hell. Blood clot, and the recent, string of players who have gotten this type of injury. So it says here that we announced that Cam Whitmore is out with the deep vein thrombosis. DVT can cause blood clots in the veins of arms or legs and has become more commonplace for NBA players to be dealing with it. Last season, Damian Lillard missed time after a blood clot was discovered in his calf. Same thing with Victor Wembanyama as the season was cut short. He missed the last 29 games of the season. Says here, while the timeline for his return is unknown, there is a precedent for players returning with no issues after being diagnosed with DVT. Love that. Love that. Obviously, let him come back full 100% health. Don't let this affect your overall physical capacity, which says here, there is a precedent for a player returning with no issues. Wembanyama is a great example of that. Also, we talked about Asar Thompson. He missed the last month of his rookie season and the first month of last season with a DVT. But he has had no issues this season while averaging a career high on the East leading Pistons. Now, it says here, treating DVT is dependent on the location of the blood clot, but ensuring it's taken care of is crucial. If untreated, the blood clot can potentially travel to the lungs and cause pulmonary embolism, which can be life-threatening. Holy hell, we do not want this. Obviously, let Ken Whitmore take his time, let the doctors do his thing, and then worry about basketball later. But the good thing is, once this is treated and this is all healed up and everything's good to go, it's not going to affect him and his basketball capabilities or his physical capabilities. So that's good news. That's good news. Let's see what the article says. We'll talk about this. Yeah. So, like I said, if the timeline for Ken Whitmore is him coming back mid-February, the first thing I thought of was, all right, he wasn't playing in the past, 6 games. Missed the previous 2 due to a shoulder injury. Dudes like Will Riley and Jameer Watkins stepped in his place. Along, Corey Kisper's been out as well. Granted, he came back last night, went out with a hamstring injury, so who knows when he comes back. Wishing him a speedy recovery as well. But now we're back in the same limbo where it looks like Will Riley and Jameer Watkins should continue to get, consistent rotational minutes. Even though last night Malachi Brown actually had minutes over those two, which is a bit questionable. But that was on last night's stream. I don't want to talk about that. So from the Wizards' perspective, that should be the case moving forward, right? Now, going back to Cam Whitmore, as we all know, he's been up and down this season. Granted, it's still way early. You do want to see a full, season of tape with him. That's just been his, overall theme in the NBA, just inconsistent. That, and also, we know about his deficiencies. This year, recently he got benched, and it was nothing to do with his injuries. I believe he was 100% at the time when he got benched, but he just wasn't producing. Against the Celtics and against the Sixers, he had 4 points, 2 of 11 from the field, 0 of 4 from the 3 in both games. There was also, see, I'm not trying to dog on him, but just got to be honest. There was questions regarding his effort, his hustle, defensive performance. Everything was just inconsistent. There was also a report that came out with him saying that the Wizards were a bit concerned with his quote-unquote work habits or practice habits. Seemed like maturity issues. But at the same time, I will admit, I am not counting him out for the Wizards and him being here in the long term. He is only 21 years old, and as a matter of fact, out of all our wings, this guy probably has the highest ceiling. We know what he can bring to the table offensively. Offensively, he is a powerhouse. In transition, no one wants to see him. No one. So the talent is there. Just wait and give it some time until the mental reach the talent. We got to be patient. There's one thing we saw with Bob Carrington. Bob Carrington, this man was going through it the first, 2 months of the season, October and November. Come December, things are starting to change. He's playing much better. In a rebuilding squad, in a young squad, patience is key. Patience is needed. And you definitely have to toss in Ken Whitmore in that, same category. This man's only 21 years old. So you never know, dude. You never know. So some dudes start off they start off really cold in the season. They get warm, and then boom, they end the season really strong on a high note. they give a jolt to the entire fan base, and we're just like, oh shoot, we got ourselves a freaking stud, you know. Hopefully, Ken Whitmore can come back shortly after the trade deadline, and possibly dudes are shipped out or not here anymore. I'm looking at Chris Middleton, maybe Corey Kispert, maybe McCollum. Minutes are opened up. Ken Whitmore gets consistent minutes, and he balls out. That's a beautiful story right there. Coming back from, deep vein thrombosis. I'm going to say DVT. I don't know. I feel like I'm botching that word. Thrombosis, whatever the hell. Red Wing says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, dude. Tough situation. This isn't Cam's fault. I completely agree. Yeah, man. Got to wish him nothing but a speedy recovery. But, yeah. I mean, look. With Ken Whitmore, man, October, 9.6 points he averages on 42% from the field, 28% from the three. Man's just getting his footing set here in the DMV, learning. But then, the month of November, 9.2 points. But this man was cooking to a certain degree. 52% from the field, 35, almost 36% from the three. He had a stretch in November, a 6-game stretch where this man was on a tear. And then after that 6-game stretch, he went, the next 4 games has been a little bit iffy with him. That's pretty much been the story for Ken Whitmore. Started off the season a bit, And then a nice 6-game, 8-game stretch. We're all on board. Then he reverts back. But again, I am not out on Ken Whitmore, dude. I'm not. I can't, dude. The talent is there. The upside is there. You can't. You can't. And on top of that, he's only 21 years old. So, let me know what y'all think, man, about this thing. But, ideally, he comes back after the trade deadline. There's minutes to be had. He's in a rotation. He is juiced up. He's reinvigorated. He wants to come out and ball, show what he's worth, show what he's got, and he balls out. Kent Whitmore's headed to a final year of his rookie contract next year. Same with Coulibaly. So they need to show something because, listen, the draft lottery, if we are in, if we are blessed with the opportunity to draft dudes like AJ DeBonsa, apparently him, he's BPA. Like, you got to show something, man. But obviously with Cam, you want to make sure this man's 150% healthy, especially with an injury like that. You don't want to risk anything. That'd be stupid. That'd be malpractice, actually. That'd be even more than malpractice. That'd just be like, anyways. But that's my take on that. Because this whole thing right here, man, treating DVT is dependent on the location of the blood clot, the shoulder, but ensuring it's taken care of is crucial. If untreated, the blood clot can potentially travel to the lungs and cause pulmonary embolism, which can be life-threatening. Fuck that. We don't need that. Fuck that. I'm a dude who suffers with my lungs, dude. It sucks. It sucks. Asthma sucks. It's annoying. This is even probably 10 times worse than asthma. So, hopefully, like, for Ken Whitmore emotionally where he's at right now, this happened in the midst of his benching. I'm pretty sure he's a bit disenfranchised with the coach, Ken Whitmore. Coach Keefe. Coach Keefe pulling him out of lineups, putting him in lineups. Even when he was in the rotation, Coach Keefe not putting him in crucial situations when Ken Whitmore is cooking, taking him out when he has the hot hand. Mentally, I hope Cam is okay, man. You don't want him to be in a down spot where he's just like, man, I got benched. Now I got this serious injury diagnosis. What the fuck, Prayers up to Cam. Prayers up to Cam. But hey, man, if he comes back and he bounces back and he's wrecking in the second half of the season, that would show me a lot of things, man. It's the resilience with Cam, the comeback, like, you know, the want. Come on, man, Cam, let's do it. Let's do it. But if not this season, and if he's out for the rest of the season, you know, either way, I think Cam Whitmore, start of next year, in his fourth season, he's going to come locked and loaded because this is a contract year for him. He has to come locked and loaded. He has no other option. If you want to get paid, if you want to continue being in the NBA, you know, I mean, we've seen this before many times. Dudes ball out in their contract year, and then, you know, obviously we become wary of giving them that bag. But we'll see. We'll see. But anyways, I'm going to call it quits soon. Yeah, everybody's with their family right now, so obviously I don't want to, you know, don't want to make this too long, y'all. Bub Carrington, though. The Bub Carrington injury, there was an update on that. Some dude from Thailand was asking for an update. I was like, oh, shit. There's Wizards fans in Thailand. That's awesome. Gotta love it. This one is from Varun Shankar. Shout out to Varun, covering the Wizards for Washington for Post Sports. He said, Wizards say Carrington's injury is right foot soreness. This is after yesterday. He slipped on a wet spot in from a Hornets player who fell right before him, and Carrington went into the locker room. So that's the update for you, Ty dude. Wizards Carrington's injury is right foot soreness. We actually play next on Friday against the Raptors here at the DMV, here at Capital One at Chinatown. So I don't know if Bub Carrington's going to be available for that game. If he isn't, I'd assume A.J. Johnson's going to get minutes. They'll recall him back from the G League. Right foot soreness. Don't rush it. In this season right now, there's no need to rush, you know, for any injury. Like, anyways, last comment of the day goes to Crocs Wild No Socks. What's your thoughts on the proposed tank prevention? I'm assuming you're talking about the Adam Silver news, right? Right, Crocs? You're talking about the Adam Silver news, how he sent a memo to all 30 teams this year about the possible tanking odds being changed. I'm assuming that's what Croc is talking about. Let's wait for him to respond back. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on that, and I'm going to call it quits, y'all. Let's wait for Croc. Whole lot of Croc, dude. 8.3 points. Yeah, Cam Whitmore, man, the month of December, he only played 3 games, but 8.3 points, 33% from the field, 9.1% from the 3. Croc said, yes, I just didn't want to say his name. He doesn't deserve it. LOL. Yeah, I agree. Here's my take on that. And I feel like this is like one of the main things that divides sports fans regarding this whole tanking thing, especially in the NBA. This divides a lot of NBA fans. My take is, with this whole Adam Silver trying to prevent teams from tanking and offering different solutions, it's not going to change anything. If, like, you know what I mean? Like, first of all, in recent history, big market teams have won the lottery and have attained franchise generational talent. Wembanyama, Cooper Flag. You know, the Spurs, they even jumped up twice. Like, they got Dylan Harper. They jumped up twice. We've seen teams like the Hawks, like Zion, like, you know, from years ago. There is no, like, I feel like what they need to do is they need to find it like a more of a safeguard for the top, for the worst teams in the lottery process to attain top level talent. So many times have we seen the teams with the worst record miss out on the top picks. Look at the Pistons. The Pistons, what like 3 years in a row, they got the worst possible outcome after having the worst record, and they kept picking 5. Look at us. Last year, we were number 2. We had the second worst record in the league. We ended up with the worst option with 6. In general with us, from 2020 until on, we kept picking 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. We're German. So my take is, I'm just like, you're not... The NBA is just different than the NFL because it's 82 games. 3 top picks in a row. Yeah. Victor Wembanyama, Castle, and Dillon. And then people start glazing the freaking Spurs and like, oh my God, see how they build their team. They're so good. They got all these scouts, they're so good. Motherfucker, my dumb ass can make those picks. And I'll be looking like a genius out there. No. I think what freaking Silver needs to do is find more of like implement a system that is more safeguarded for the worst teams. It's no coincidence, in my opinion, it's the big market teams that jump up in the draft and get these star level talent players, which leaves the small market teams like us, or whatever the hell you want to call us, small market, medium market. Right now we're small. This fan base can be reinvigorated, and then we've seen that with the Commanders last year. This year they ass. But I don't like it. I really don't like it, dude. The last time they changed the lottery system was 2019 because of the freaking Sixers and their, horrific tanking ethical. Just, the Sixers ruined everything, man, for the NBA. They ruined it for us, too. Because we keep having the worst record and we got wrecked. Well, 2 years. Alex Sarri got lucky. We actually jumped, and we had a second overall pick. But I don't know. I don't like it. But I'm not too worried because after I did some research, Adam Silver in this possible new lottery system will not be implemented for a number of years. That's what happened in 2019. It was proposed in 2017 and was actually, made final in 2019 in that draft. So it took them 2 years. So I'm assuming it's going to take them 2 years for this. And if we are in the lottery in 2 years, something went horribly wrong. Will Dawkins will not. If we're in the lottery in 2 years from now, Will Dawkins is going to be fired. So I'm expecting this to hopefully be our last time being in a lottery. But yeah, man, I'm not a big fan. If they want to prevent tanking, they need to. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what they would do. Just find a way to safeguard the worst teams, though. It's not a coincidence to me. It's always the small market teams getting wrecked. It's not a coincidence. Small market teams getting wrecked. Big market teams getting up there, getting a top talent. So it's obviously it just screams, it's rigged. It screams like it was already, like they already chose which team's gonna get blessed, And God forbid the Thunder get the freaking top pick this year. Oh my God. So that's my take on that, man. I'm not even a big fan of Adam Silver, so y'all know how I feel about him. He ain't shit. No, I don't like him. Dude, man, we should be. Anyways, whatever. I'm gonna stop yammering. I'm gonna call it quits, y'all. Merry Christmas to everybody. I might drop a video tomorrow. A Christmas Wizards video. But we'll see about that. Anyways, wishing Ken Whitmore a speedy recovery moving forward. And hopefully, he is back by the trade deadline a little bit after so he can ball out with minutes to be had. Because we're banking on dudes not being here. Middleton, y'all know. Anyways, take care, everybody. Have a wonderful night with your family. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace, y'all.